podcast of 98FM's Dublin Talks. Remember, catch the show live Monday to Friday at 10 a.m.
98FM's Dublin Talks with Adrian Kennedy.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. Now, next on the programme, if you are the parent of a young child or have been the parent of a young child, I would like to hear from you on this next conversation. And it is to do with supermarket checkouts and sweets. How do you deal with it when you're in Dunn's or Tesco or wherever doing a shop with your child, and you walk up to the checkout and all your child can see is sweets and chocolate bars and crisps? Do they wreck your head, demanding you buy them sweets? Let's be honest, it does happen, whether you agree or not. But anyway, they call it pester power, in fact, where you get to the counter and the kids just, can I have that, can I have that, can I have that, can I have that? Now, a lot of parents will say, no, you can't. But it becomes a bit of a chore when you arrive at the counter. Anyway, would you prefer if all sweets and chocolates were taken out of sight? In other words, away from counters. Not that they're banned or anything, but they're moved away from your line of sight when you're paying for things. I'd love to hear from you, and I want you to answer that question, and let's conduct a little Dublin Talks text poll. And the question I'm asking is, should all sweets be banned from checkouts? That's the question that I want to ask you. And what you do is you text the word yes if you think they should, or no if you don't think they should, and you send your text to me right now to 0877 98 98 98. So the question again is, should all sweets be banned from checkouts? So just simply text the word yes or no to 0877 98 98 98 and send it by text message, please. Yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Well, the reason I mention all of this is a plan to cut the rate of childhood obesity in Ireland by half in the next decade has been launched by the Irish Heart Foundation this week. The poll carried out this week in conjunction with the Foundation's Childhood Obesity did have results, and I'm not going to tell you the results yet because I want to find out how you feel about it in our own poll. Okay, so we're asking, should sweets be banned from checkouts here in Ireland? Text yes or no to 0877 98 98 98. Obviously, the Irish Heart Foundation believe that this is something that we should do. And I'm joined on the line by Chris Macy from the Irish Heart Foundation. Chris, this is something that you are actively campaigning for.
Oh, absolutely, Adrian. These create pester power, and they also lead to impulse buys on a big scale. There's a science behind product placement in supermarkets and convenience stores that's designed to make people buy as much as possible. And of course, we're not talking about carrots and broccoli here. We're talking about chocolate and crisps and things like that. And pester power, in particular, among children, it's a huge part of tackling childhood obesity. Is dealing with this pester power that children are subjected to literally round the clock on their smartphones from junk food marketing, and the layout in convenience stores and supermarkets. So the Conservative Party in Great Britain has thought enough of this to say that it's going to ban unhealthy food being placed at checkouts, and it's going to also at end of aisles, and that's based on a study that was done for the government there last year that showed that 76% less confectionery and crisps was bought and eaten on the go from supermarkets that don't stock them at checkouts than those that do. And convenience stores weren't included in that, but you could imagine very much that they're an even bigger culprit in that respect.
Okay, so would you be suggesting that, I get it in supermarkets where you're at the checkout, you're in the queue and there's sweets everywhere, but in, say, your local Spar store where you're going up to pay for whatever you're paying for, right in front of the till in most convenience stores, you will see sweets and crisps and everything else. Do you want them moved away from there?
Yeah, absolutely. And, a healthier food environment is something that we need. This sort of thing is driving childhood obesity. We have a huge problem in this country. Government's own research says that 85,000 of our children are going to die prematurely. The children that this generation of children on the island are going to die prematurely due to overweight and obesity. We have to act. We have to change this future, and changes like this are essential to it. Yes, it'll affect purchases of unhealthy food in this, but it'll create a health benefit to children that we really need to start doing.
Okay, now you describe pester power, which is basically exactly what it says. It's children pestering their parents. Mammy, 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 can I have that Kinder Bueno bar, please? Mammy, mammy, mammy. But isn't it a case that parents just have to learn to say no?
Yeah, that's really easy to say. As a parent of three children who've gone through those phases myself, it's very hard to do that all the time when there's the constant presence of this, the high volume and availability of unhealthy food. So, when you're being pestered constantly, you can be, the best parent in the world 99% of the time, and 1% of the time you give in, you're tired, you're hungry yourself, you need to get things done. And it's really hard. Parents need help here. They need help to detoxify this environment and make take junk food out of children's faces.
And I understand that, but I actually had an experience yesterday where the man in front of me in the queue had a young child. He was about 5 or 6. The young fella picked up whatever it was, a Mars bar, whatever it was, from the counter, and he said, "Daddy, I want this." And Daddy just took it straight off him and put it back, and he said, "No."
That's brilliant, and I think every parent would do that a lot of the time, but every parent can't do it all of the time because of the, as I say, the junk food in your face that we have in our society. And this is one of the changes that we have to make if we want to tackle childhood obesity. If we don't want to tackle childhood obesity, if we want to leave these children to the fate of the best marketing brains in the world, to encourage them to overconsume, so be it. But the Irish Heart Foundation is advocating for these changes to help children, give children a chance of living healthy lives. Okay,
now we've seen over recent years how you can walk into any store, they still sell cigarettes, but you wouldn't know because you can't see them. They're not displayed in any way. There's no advertising surrounding them. They're hidden in a press. Is that what you want to eventually see happening with sweets and crisps?
No, we're not saying, people trying to accuse us of being killjoys and everything. We're not saying that children shouldn't have treats. It's all right to sell chocolate bars. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with very occasionally children eating them. But what's happened, what marketing and what, in-store product placement has done is it's turned the food pyramid on its head and made the advertising of unhealthy foods that should be consumed rarely and in small amounts, has made that the main thing that's being pushed at everyone, but children in particular, and that's what's got to change. All right, well, Chris Macy from the Irish Heart Foundation, thank you very much indeed for joining us on 98 FM. So, they want to see sweets and crisps and all other junk moved away from the checkout in supermarkets and moved away from the counter when you're in your local newsagents. And we know every single newsagents and convenience store here in Ireland has all of the sweets and all of the crisps right in your face when you're paying for anything. So you can be buying a really healthy lunch, for example, but between you and paying for your healthy lunch is a load of sweets and crisps and chocolates and everything else. And we're asking, is it time in order to ensure we don't have a obesity epidemic in years to come, should we ban the sale of these products from the checkouts and from literally in front of your face when you're in your Spar shop? Text or WhatsApp, yes or no, to 0877 98 98 98. A lot of interest in this. We'll take your calls after the break. You can send a WhatsApp voice note as well, like Cindy did.
Hey, Adrian. Sometimes, you just have to look in the trolley of the parents when it gets up to the checkout to see what sort of a week they're going to have food-wise. So if they move the sweets from the checkouts, it's not going to make a blind bit of difference because it's down to parenting again. End of. That's what it's about. No.
I'm just being told, I never even knew this was an expression until this very second. I'm being told, Cindy, that what you're doing is trolley shaming. Really, is that actually a thing? Trolley shaming is where you make a judgment or an opinion on somebody based on what they actually have on their shopping trolley. So you're trolley shaming, Cindy. Stephen, your point on this is your 2-year-old doesn't ask because he knows he won't get it.
Morning, Adrian.
Morning, Stephen. Yeah.
Well, myself and my wife, listen, we're not the super parents. We don't go by books. We just said that, I knew what it was like growing up. I'd go to the shop and I'd spend £1, £2 on just bar after bar, packet of crisp after packet of crisp. You know yourself, it was so easy to do. You're giving money. It wasn't how much you were eating. There was always a treat press in my grandmother's house. That still is.
Yep, that's same as myself.
You just walk straight in, packet of crisps, packet of jellies, bar of chocolate, do what you want. But I just didn't want that for my little fella. I just seen over the years it was sort of a weight issue. Saying, you know what, I just don't want him sort of, not struggling with weight, but just don't want him in that routine of knowing he's just going to get it when he wants it and take what he wants when he wants. So he's 2 now. He gets a treat on a Friday after crash because myself and his mother are both full-time parents in work. So on a Friday, we walk around the shop. He gets a Kinder Egg, and he knows that's his kind of treat for the week.
And okay, so he knows when he gets to the counter and there's loads of sweets everywhere, he knows not to even bother asking.
At this stage, because of the amount of times I've said no, it's very much yes. You will get the odd time he'll say, Daddy, egg. And I know he's talking about a Kinder Egg. So I think it is down to the parents, Adrian. It's down to, there is a lot of peer pressure. I know I do shopping every week on a Friday, and we don't buy a hell of a lot of junk or crap. He is fed a very balanced diet in creche. We feed him the best of the balanced diet we can at home. And it is, it's just down to, if you enforce this, you're setting them up.
Okay, so this idea, the Irish Heart Foundation want sweets and crisps and everything banned from counters, from checkouts, but also from the counter in your local newsagent. They want them moved away from there. You think this is ridiculous? It's just...
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
You know, 10 or 15 years ago, Stephen, I'd have said the same thing about cigarettes, and now you can walk into any shop in Ireland that sells cigarettes and you wouldn't even know they're for sale. Most they're hidden.
Actual newsagents now have a machine behind the counter directly in front of your face.
Yeah, but there's no advertising, it's just a press.
No, there's no advertising, I agree.
It's just a press.
I hate them. Yeah, it is a press there, but it's not advertised the way it was. But you go to any checkout in Ireland, you go to any newsagent in Ireland, and there are 4 or 5 rows of sweets, and then below is the crisps.
Yeah.
And, they do get paid a lot for the advertising. The best sweets, the best crisps do get the higher tier. They're in your face there. For Cadbury's, I'm sure, probably the highest payers in Ireland for the amount of chocolate that they do.
But the point is, and this is what Chris Macy was saying to us, that this is marketing genius. They know exactly what they're doing, and let's be honest, you do it yourself, because I do. I'm going in to buy product A, and I end up buying product B as well, because it's there in front of my face.
Oh, 100%. You go to any garage now, the amount of garages around Dublin now at this stage, you go in for a cup of tea and there's 2 bars for $1.40 or 2 bars for €2, 2 bottles of pint of Coke for €1.80 to €2 as well. It's easy just to buy 2 instead of 1. And I'm guilty of doing that, but it's not something that I want for my son, and it's not something I'm going to actually show him that I do. But like that, it is so easy to do, and I don't know whether you're going to be able to change it overnight. It might be a long-term thing, but there is a hell of a lot of money in the retail for chocolate and crisps. And are you really going to tell me that they're going to move it away from the checkout with the till? I don't think that. They'll lose a lot of money. Are you going to tell me that a small shop is going to move everything to one side away from the checkout?
Well, they would if the law tells them to. Do you know what I mean?
The law tells them to, yeah. If the law tells them, great. But,
all right, stay there for 1 second, Stephen, if you can, please. Paul, as a parent, you're saying sometimes it's hard to say no.
It is, yeah, very hard. Like, you could be in cooking the dinner or something. You could be doing anything. You'd be busy doing something, and they're into you, and it's, Dad, can I have a treat? Dad, can I have a treat? Now, I've 3 of them. I have a 7, a 5, and a 3-year-old. And, like, they tag team you. Within an hour, I'd probably have 20 times to be into me. and it's just, Jesus Christ, just take it. And it's, it's really horrible.
And look, as a parent myself, I remember what pester power was like. It really is a thing.
Jesus, yeah.
And would try the patience of a saint sometimes. And I get that, and I completely understand how a lot of parents struggle with it. But, this whole idea of moving sweets and crisps away from the counter, away from the checkout.
That's not going to happen.
No, I wouldn't say it's not going to happen.
I can. No, listen, it's...
Can I tell you, Paul, it has happened in other countries and it has been shown to be quite successful.
Well, there'll be more companies shutting down now because of it, the likes of Cadbury's and places like that, because you know yourself, you go in there and you look and see what's there and you go, oh, Jesus, Starbar, haven't had one of them in years, or a Catch, or I'll give us 2 of them, and you'll take them. And especially what that chap said there, two for 160, and I love this. I'll get a few of them, and you always do.
Yeah, no, I do it myself. I fall victim to it myself. But this isn't really about us as adults, because that's all down to our personal choice. Mind you, it is still encouraging us to eat crap. But this is about children and the pester power control they have over their parents, and when it's in their face and they're with you in the shop. And they want, and you eventually, just to shut them up, you say, okay,
I know, I've done it. Now, in the shop now, it wouldn't be as bad. They'd ask me, could you get this and get that? If me and the missus are doing the shop or something, they you can throw them in as a treat. But not at the cash thing, not the... Like, you know yourself, anything that's up at that cash thing is 150. You know what I mean? A pop, and there's 3 of them there. So that's 450 gone on three pieces of crap, really, let's be honest. You know what I mean?
Would it not make your life easier, though, Paul, if it wasn't there in front of your face?
I don't think so. Because he'd still be grabbing the stuff there that's down on the yoke, you know what I mean? That's down on the oils. And like, I do say no, don't get me wrong. I had the kids last week. I was on holidays last week. The childminder was away, and I had them. I had to brought them to school, collected them to school, and there was 3 times. I collected at 12:15, 1:45, and 1:45. Okay? Now, usually the young fella will come home at 12:15. He'll have a packet of crisps and a nap. But he wasn't having a nap because I had to have him back in an hour, to collect the other one and the whole lot. But like for the first day, he was getting a packet of crisps, and then the other one would come in then, and then she'd go to the press and get her packet of crisps, and he'd sneak something else out. Right. And then he'd do the same again at 3 o'clock when I collected the other one, I thought to me, and then they were eating the dinner. So I thought, no. Like, dinner time in their house is crazy. One of them won't eat a dinner, and the other fella keeps telling you, no, I don't like that, and you know what I mean? So I stopped them actually having treats during the day when they come home from school.
In order that they do start eating their dinners. No, I understand that. Here's a message that I actually agree with, because I do think this is part of the problem. In fact, I believe that this is the problem of childhood obesity. Adrian, I'm sick listening to people talking about the fact that kids are obese from sweets. That isn't the case. It's nothing got to do with sweets. Being on show at a till or treat presses. It's because the kids are not out playing and running around like they used to. It's lazy parenting, if you ask me. Parents need to learn to say no at the tills and limit junk food and let the kids out to play. Because here's the thing. When I was a young fella, and this is not yesterday or the day before, my granny had a treat press in her house. We bought sweets every week. We actually ate a lot of shite, to be honest with you. However, not one of the 3 of us had a pick on us because we were out running around all day, every day. So I'm not saying that eating all the sweets was good for us necessarily, but at least all of the calories that we were shoveling into our gobs, we were burning off as well. Hence, we didn't put on weight. We didn't have and I kind of agree with that message that the focus against sweet makers and sugar content and all of that is all well and good. But there should be another focus on the fact that kids aren't getting the exercise that they used to. They are not out running around. Their parents, in some cases, are afraid to let them out and run around. That is part of the problem. In fact, that is the problem as far as I'm concerned. Pat, you're on Dublin's 98FM. How are you, Pat?
Pat.
What did you want to say on this?
Well, actually, my point was kind of mirroring that message you got. Like, I don't think it's as much... Like we take away sweets from front shops and stuff. We're still going to have obese kids. You know, like, it's not like a child who eats a packet of sweets maybe every day or every second day are the ones who are morbidly obese. Like, you're not going to go into Tesco's or Lidl's and see two fit parents who obviously exercise regularly with a fat child. You know, you need to change your attitude towards food and exercise. Like, I live down the country and there are very few fat children around here. Because they're always out, or they're involved in GA, or they're doing other stuff outside school. It's the kids who are going home, gorging on shit food and chipper food as well, and then sitting there playing video games all night.
And this is the point that I was making. When I was younger, yes, we had loads of sweets, and if you're to be honest, the sweets back then would have had higher sugar content, would have been much bigger bars, and we all ate them, but we were running around like lunatics and burning it all back off again.
And I think this is kind of nanny state-ish to a certain extent, because you take away the sweets, but like, we also need to teach our kids self-control. We also need to be able to teach our children that, like, when you go to the shop, you're not getting sweets all the time. They might be there, but you're not getting them. You know, and how are we going to teach them that if they're just not there?
Rebecca, your point on this is we need to stop obsessing over what kids are eating, because this is creating eating disorders.
Yeah, that's right. My own daughter, she's only 10. When she got sick, she was only just turning 10. She was actually 9, and she stopped eating altogether. She was very, very. I mean, I have 5 children. The other 4 are absolutely fine, but my 9-year-old daughter, she got very sick there in the summer during the summer break up from school, and she was so sick. We nearly lost her.
Really? So sick from, in what way? Like from?
She just, we couldn't get her to. I noticed that, you know, you have to look out for the signals with your children when they start being. I mean, I would have given anything for my daughter to be wanting the sweets at the checkout. I'm kind of on the other end of the scale with her anyway, and I just noticed in the summer there that. I mean, she had some other issues as well, but the big thing was that she just stopped eating, like on a Friday when the children were allowed to take a treat to school in their lunchbox.
And this is because she started obsessing over, that might make me fat, or that might have too much sugar in it, or whatever.
Yeah, and children, you know, they're like sponges. They hear and they take everything in. And I'm not saying that all children are going to react the way that my daughter did, but some are very sensitive. And if you say to them all the time, you're not getting enough exercise, you shouldn't be eating this, you shouldn't be having that, blah, blah, blah. But, you know,
and your belief is that she began to obsess over food because of the way in which we are obsessing over food and talking about banning sweets from checkouts and all of that.
Yeah, and it's everywhere. You know, I know that it's a very, you have to have the bath cell. I know in schools they're promoting healthy eating. The lunch boxes can only have, you know, this, that and the other end, which is quite complicated. The kids come out of school and they're starving. So
and would you agree with the messages, and indeed my own opinion on this, which is my firm belief that the biggest problem that we have with the obesity crisis is a lack of exercise the kids are getting, not the rubbish that they're eating?
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's much harder in the winter months. I think it's not as, like, going back when we were kids, it wasn't as dangerous to go out and play. There wasn't the danger.
I don't buy that for 1 second, Rebecca. I'm sorry. It's no more dangerous today than it was when I was a kid, and that was in the 70s and 80s. It's not.
Yeah, I'm talking about, you know, now we're more aware of letting us, like, in the dark. It's dark so early now. You know, would you really want your young children out playing in the dark? You don't know who's hanging around. So I think parents...
No, maybe parents become... But I can tell you, when I was a young fellow, in the middle of winter, we were even out playing. In the pissings of rain, we were out playing.
Yeah, me too. But I'm very nervous now about letting mine, you know, go out in the dark. I know what you're saying, and I know that, you know... And
my argument is, when I was a kid, every shop also had sweets at the counters, and I can't think of one kid when I was growing up that you would even say was overweight, let alone obese.
Oh, I think there was always one, but there definitely wasn't the same choice that there is now. I mean, everything...
Same choice of what?
Like the amount of sugary drinks.
There always was, Rebecca.
No, I think
unless you were born in the 1920s, but certainly when I was a kid, there was everything you have today.
No, I don't remember there being so much choices. I mean, I'm sat outside a petrol station at the moment, and I can see in, and it is rammed full
of sweets and stuff. Yeah, and I agree, and I know it is. All right, Rebecca, thank you very much indeed for your call, and the best of luck. And how is your daughter today? How is she now?
She is doing really well.
That's good.
Fantastic care here, yeah. And I have to say, the crowd that are looking after her literally saved her life. So she's only 10, and she's on medication now, and she probably will be for the foreseeable. So it's just to make people aware that if you do obsess too much over it in front of your children, they take it all in. I don't know, it affects boys as well, but mainly girls, especially at that kind of age. It is honestly the last thing that you want. It is absolutely
okay, and that all comes down to, as you were saying yourself, the way in which we are obsessing about food and what's in food and all of that. And yes, it's good that we have this conversation, but not obsessing about it. Let me bring in one last call. Roisin, very quickly, what do you want to say?
Well, I just wanted to say that I think that if you're in the shop once a week and it's to take something and it's as a treat, then that's fine. But I think the thing about it is that I think it's just the fact that kids are given more cash these days. Like, it's not packed lunches, it's not back to basics, certainly the way it was when I was a kid. Like, there wasn't fizzy drinks in our house bar on a Saturday. We had red lemonade on a Saturday. Like, I think it's constant. And if you see it, I think more the deli counters and the garages, like that other caller said, especially near the secondary schools, like those chicken fillet rolls and everything else. I mean, you're talking the same calories as a dinner. And parents think that's a decent lunch. We're not realising that the convenience of these things, like the best food you can get is basic food that you make at home.
All right, Roisin, thank you very much indeed for your call. Let me just squeeze in a couple more WhatsApp voice notes before we wrap this up. This is from Christian.
Just regarding the show there this morning on the sweets at checkouts and everything. Yeah, it's probably an idea, but it runs far much deeper than sweets at counters. It's what goes in shopping trolleys. We do our shopping and we eat quite healthy. Lots of fruit and veg and stuff, and sweets, but not much sweets. But what you see with the other trolleys, people thinking the likes of Actimels are good for you. They're not one bit good for you at all. They're full of sugar. All the low-fat yogurts, they just take out the fat and put in more sugar. All the pizzas, all the chips, all the processed lasagnas and shepherd's pies and all this crap Weight Watchers nonsense that people think is good for them. It's not good for them at all.
All right, thanks very much indeed. And then final one from Bill.
Lads, just do what I do. Online shopping and get it delivered. They all do it nowadays except Aldi. Tesco's do it, Super Value do it, Lidl do it. They all do it. Online shopping, simple as that. And if you need that during the week, like milk or bread or your paper or whatever it is you're getting, go into the shop and you way home from work. Simple. Done and dusted. There you go. Wife skinny kids. Hey.
All right. Thank you very much indeed, Bill. And thank you all of you for your calls. This is 98FM.
98FM's Dublin Talks.
Message us now.
0877 98 98 98.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in my hand here... Well, it's the biggest cinema pass tickets ever in the history of the world. We have a set of cinema passes for IMC Cinemas to give away. Because being a Thursday, we want you to share with us your first world problems. Now, first world problems is something that's going on in your world that's a bit of an issue. Okay, it's a bit of an issue. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not a problem at all, really, when you look at the problems that some people have in this world. And Jeremy is here with me for this bit of our show, and you yourself have a first world problem.
Oh, socks. Thanks for bringing it up.
Socks?
Yeah, my first world problem at the moment is socks.
Why, what's the problem with your socks?
Okay, last week, an aunt of mine decided to buy me a present, and she bought me a present. By the way, thanks very much for the socks. They're very well appreciated. She bought me a packet of socks that have the days of the week on them.
Very good.
Yeah. You get them in M&S.
Yeah.
And basically, it's 7 pairs of socks. And there's a pair that have Monday on them, and there's a pair that have Tuesday on them, and Wednesday, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So anyway, she bought me these socks last week as a novelty and said, Jeremy, you love these. And I thought to myself, oh no, this is hell for me. This is absolute hell.
Why?
Because you know I have slight OCD.
Yeah.
And I can't wear Wednesday socks on a Tuesday.
Why? Who's going to even notice?
I just can't. I can't. So anyway, I put all the socks.
So you definitely then couldn't wear a Wednesday sock and a Tuesday sock?
Jesus, no. So anyway, what happened was the wife took the socks and didn't put them together day by day, and she threw all the socks into my sock drawer. So in my sock drawer at the moment, there's like Tuesday sock beside Friday sock, Wednesday sock beside Sunday sock.
So are you telling me that today's Thursday and you could only wear the Thursday socks today?
Hang on.
Let me see.
Look what that says on it.
It says Thursday, yeah.
It says Thursday on it. And what does the other one say on it?
Oh, it says Thursday as well.
Now, it took me 15 minutes this morning to find both the matching socks. The moral of the story is, this is a huge problem. Don't buy socks with days of the week on them.
For Jeremy.
No, for
because
anybody.
the rest of us wouldn't care.
Oh, everybody would care.
No,
everybody
honestly,
would care.
They wouldn't.
Could you, honestly...
I have those socks at home. No, I'm not wearing them. Am I wearing them today? No, I'm not. But
well, answer this question.
I'd just pick the socks out of the drawer.
No, there's no way you could come to work on a Friday wearing on your left foot Monday and on your right foot Tuesday.
Well, I'm telling you there is, but...
Well, you're a better man than I am.
Wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
So I know my wife is listening at the moment. If you're at home at the moment, you have very little to be doing at the moment. What?
She's on maternity leave minding your child.
I have the baby sleeping at the moment. So can you please go into my sock drawer in the bedroom and sort out the bloody socks? Monday to Sunday. All of them together. Monday... Both socks should be tied together with a string.
Or alternatively, just throw the socks in the bin. Or give them to charity or something.
I can't do that. My auntie gave them to me.
Anyway, we would like... That is his first world problem. What is yours? Call us right now on 6797981. Text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note with your first world problem to 0877 98 98 98. Sean, you're on Dublin's 98 FM. How are you, Sean?
Yeah, not too bad.
Sean, what is your first world problem?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to believe in the house.
Oh, Sean, your first world problem is it sounds like you're at the bottom of the ocean on that phone.
Yeah, I'm walking out. I'm walking in town.
All right, try and cover up the mouthpiece a bit, will you?
Yeah, can you hear today now?
That's better, yeah. Go on anyway.
Yeah, so sale agreed on my house in Ballyfermot. I'm moving up to Farmerstown.
Okay, very good.
The first world problem is that I don't think we'll get all the paperwork done before Christmas.
Oh no! So you have the house is all boxed off. You have it in the bag, as they say, but you don't know if you're going to get it boxed off totally completed by Christmas.
You know, air solicitor, their solicitor, and then seller solicitor, 3 solicitors.
That is a first world problem because everybody wants crap done before Christmas happens.
Everybody wants a house. We've a housing crisis. He's got a house.
Yeah.
But he won't be in before Christmas.
No, not by the look.
And will it be the first week of January?
More than likely, first. I say, well, it depends then, with the solicitors coming back.
Yeah, it is. You have your heart set on it. You're all set and ready to go. And
yeah.
Mind you, Sean, who wants to be in the house by Christmas when it could be all over the shop? It'd be like boxes and all of that. So stay where you are, and then 1st of January then.
But Sean, I'm going to give you some perspective here. Well, actually, this isn't perspective because our next door neighbours,
yeah,
they decided they have an L-shaped settee, one of those L-shaped settees. Yeah. Anyway, they got rid of it. It was in bits, and they got rid of it a couple of weeks ago and ordered a new one from a very well-known furniture delivery company, yeah?
Okay, yeah.
And this furniture delivery company was guaranteeing delivery before Christmas.
Oh, very good.
The way they say that?
Yeah, we guarantee.
Order your sofa today and we'll guarantee delivery before Christmas. That's what the ad said. And they threw out the old sofa and said, we're going to have the new sofa by Christmas. Anyway, they got a call from the furniture company the other day to say, I'm sorry, there's a problem with the distributor. You're not going to have your sofa before Christmas. So my next door neighbours will be sitting on crates on Christmas Day, watching telly.
Sorry, who actually throws out the old sofa before the new sofa arrives?
Your man said to them when they went into this shop to buy it, they said, oh yeah, we have one of those in the warehouse, we'll have that out to you by the end of the week. And now they're saying, no, Christmas.
I hate that. Yeah. Thanks, Sean. That's his first world problem. What is yours? A first world problem isn't really a problem at all. I mean, it's just, he'd like to be in before Christmas, but really he's got a gaff and it's not a major problem.
By the way, about the socks thing, a couple of Karen texted in saying she's the same. She couldn't wear a Monday sock on a Tuesday.
Really?
I think that's everybody.
How bizarre. Soraya. Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. Tell us about your first world problem.
So my first world problem is that it's my partner's birthday today.
Okay, congratulations.
And he's 39.
39,
happy birthday, Aaron. He's 39. So really, I only have 1 year left before everything hits the fan and he gets into the midlife crisis. Oh. He's already stressing that he's getting old and he's looking in the mirror thinking, God, he can see the lines creeping in. So
what age did you say he is? 30?
He's 39 today.
Oh, 39.
So the midlife crisis is next year when he's 40.
Yeah.
So I have 1 year left, Adrian, and then it's all going to go downhill.
It doesn't really all go downhill.
No, I have to say, I'm in my mid-40s and I've never been so virile in my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he's already panicking. So I think as soon as he hits 40, my life is over.
Right, so your first world problem is my life will end when my partner is 40.
Yeah, so I have 1 year left to enjoy, and then, I don't know, Adrian, in my opinion, I think men take getting older a little bit worse than women.
No, I don't actually agree with you.
Do you not think?
I'm of a certain age.
Well, say the age.
I'm 52.
Yeah,
and I'm as happy as Larry. I'm happier.
Can you remember back when you hit 40, though? Was there a bit of a change?
No, I tell you what, 50 bothered me. 50 bothered me immensely, but I'm over it now. 40 didn't bother me in the slightest, no.
Well, he's been going on about 40 since he's 32.
Right.
So I have 1 year left, and I'm going to lap it up because I think as soon as he hits 40, then we're done.
So what does this woman expect is going to happen on the day of his 40th birthday?
His world's going to implode, apparently.
Like you need to...
Yeah. That's what he thinks.
It's a first world problem, all right. Thank you, Soraya. Let me go to Sophia. You're on 98FM. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
What is your first world problem?
My first world problem is I don't know what Louis Vuitton bag I want for Christmas.
What do you think of that, Jeremy?
So, say that again. I couldn't hear you right.
I don't know what Louis Vuitton bag I want for Christmas. Keeping me up at night,
so many choices.
Now,
does it have to be a Louis Vuitton bag?
Yeah.
See, they're so common.
Yeah, can I tell you the problem with Louis Vuitton bags?
They're so common.
No, well, it's not really that. Here's the problem with it. You're going to spend probably... Well, is it you buying it or your partner buying it?
My boyfriend.
Okay, your boyfriend. God love him. The man. Get out of that relationship, quick! So he's going to spend 600 quid on a Louis Vuitton bag for you, yeah?
It's about 1,600.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, he's going to spend that money, gobshite, by the way. He's going to spend that money on a Louis Vuitton bag for Christmas, yeah?
Yeah.
And you're going to go out on Stephen's night to your local pub, like most people do, and you're going to have the Louis Vuitton bag, and you're going to think you look like Kate Middleton, yeah, with it on your hand. The problem is, every single person that sees that is think you're after getting it from a Lucky on the Costa del Sol for 20 quid.
No.
Yeah.
No, you know the difference.
No. I can tell you, I saw some when I was in China earlier on in the year, Sophia. Yeah. And I'm telling you, you wouldn't know the difference. They were that good.
Well, they spell Louis wrong, L-O-Y-S.
No. They were absolutely perfect clones.
Oh, really?
Unbelievably perfect. And 1,600 quid. I could have got you that bag for 100. No, I could have.
We do not condone buying off the black market.
No, it's not off the black market in China. It was actually in a market. And they were absolutely flawless.
And is this Aegis? I mean, sorry, this boyfriend of yours going to spend that money on a bag for you?
Well, yeah, he did last year, so he has to keep it up.
And what did he buy you last year?
A Louis Vuitton.
Oh, my God.
Oh, come here. Can I ask you, can you get him on the phone to us one of these days, Sophia?
I need to talk.
I need to get through to that man. I need to bash his head against a wall, honestly. Thank you, Sophia. There's a man who's wrapped around his
I'm after
finger.
looking up the bag, and I think this is the bag she's talking about. Now, as I said, you can get them.
Yeah, that's the one I saw in China.
But you can get them in the Costa del Sol.
I saw that in China.
And the thing about it is, nowadays, you know about these people buying these really expensive Louis Vuitton bags, yeah? The people who actually, if you think you're going to look posh and rich carrying one of those bags, you won't.
No.
Because rich and posh people wouldn't actually spend that money.
That's the point. They become too common.
Yeah. If you look at, do you ever see Bill Gates in an interview? Yeah,
yep.
You'll never see Bill Gates wearing Rolex watches, and Bill Gates, buys his jumpers probably in H&M for $19.99.
Andrew, you're on 98 FM. How are you, Andrew?
How's it going, Adrian?
Andrew, what is your first world problem?
My head is wrecked that I just do not know why there's no Junction 8 on the M50.
Now, there is a Junction 7, which is the Naas Road.
Yep.
There's a Junction 9, which is the Lucan exit.
No, Junction 7 is Lucan.
It's the other way around, sorry.
Yeah. Where's Junction 8?
Well, I do have the answer to you.
It's quite boring, by the way.
It's quite boring, yeah, it is quite boring.
Is this keeping you awake at night, by the way?
It is. It's been wrecking my head for months.
Right, okay. The answer is quite boring. There was originally, on the original plans for the M50 motorway, a plan for a Junction 8, which was between the two, yeah?
Yep.
But it never happened. But it's still on the plans. So they didn't...
And where was it going to lead to, this Junction 8?
In around Clondalkin, or I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? No, we already have a Clondalkin exit.
No,
was it like going to Narnia or something like that?
No,
it was
somewhere in the
junction.
It was somewhere in the middle. And that's why there is no number Junction 8. It was on the original plans, and maybe they eventually want to build one, but that's the best answer I can give you.
But you're right, it's like the M50 is like a deck of cards that's missing, like the Joker.
Yeah, anyone I've asked could never tell me either.
That's why you bring 98 FM.
That's exactly why.
That's it.
Yeah. It was on the original plans for the M50, but never actually happened. So
never made it.
Yep, there you are. Thanks, Andrew.
No problem.
Do you tell that story of parties, Adrian?
I was going to bring that into the show on Monday when we were doing Tell Us Things You Don't Know.
So everybody's at a party in the kitchen, and Adrian comes in. Well, lads, how's the party going? Grand. Let me tell you why there's no Junction 8 on the M50.
And in fact, Joe just texted in, Junction 8 was originally intended for the Nanga Road. So there.
Park West.
Yeah, there you go. There's your answer. Lisa, your dad is having a first world problem. What is it?
Yeah, I came around to him for breakfast, and he opened the press and there were no eggs to make scrambled eggs, so we had to just have beans and toast.
Oh, there's nothing worse.
Well, your first problem there is keeping eggs in the press. They should have been in the fridge.
No. I totally disagree. You are wrong. Eggs should not be in the fridge.
Well, when you go to the shops, they're on the shelf.
Yeah,
so
that's where they're meant to be stored.
Yeah, but then again, I buy ketchup in the shops and it's on the shelf. I keep my ketchup in the fridge.
No, that's disgusting. That is most disgusting. Cold ketchup. Cold ketchup. Ew.
My sister's the same. Actually, she won't put her ketchup into the press.
No,
I would imagine the majority of people listening now keep their ketchup in the fridge.
They don't. No, they absolutely don't.
Oh, you know that for a fact.
Yes, I do. I tell you, there's nothing worse, Lisa, than having your mind set on having a certain thing to eat, okay? Whether it's beans or eggs or whatever. So say, for example, this happened to me last week or the week before. I was heading home from work and I had a goo on me for beans on toast. All the way home, that's all I had in my head. I'm going home and I'm going to have delicious beans on toast.
You really need to educate your palate, by the way.
No, I love beans on toast. Ever since I was a kid, I love beans on toast, yeah? And all the way home, anyway, I had it in my head, I'm having beans on toast. Walked in, put the toast into the toaster, went to the press to get the tin of beans out. No beans.
Oh, stop.
And Lisa,
so what did I have that day? Toast.
And Lisa, would he not be
scrambled egg?
Would he not be in a position to call into the neighbours and ask them for eggs?
Oh, Jeannie, no.
Would you not do that?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Oh, really? Can you not ask neighbours for eggs?
I certainly wouldn't. Not in a million years.
But I'm telling you, eggs should be kept in the fridge. That's the last thing I'm going to say. No. Eggs and ketchup should be in the fridge.
I put everything in the fridge. Beans and all, yeah? Tins of beans in the fridge.
I keep my spirits in the fridge as well. Literally everything.
Finally, Anne, you're on 98 FM. Hi, Anne.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you? All right?
Good, thank you.
Ask her about the ketchup first.
Yeah, sorry, ketchup in the fridge, yes or no?
No.
Eggs in the fridge, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. No. It's one of those.
I know the eggs are not supposed to be, but as I said, now they're on the shelves.
Neither in the fridge.
No. It's like Brexit. It's a topic that divides the nation. Ketchup.
Right, so they have Brexit going on over there, and we have ketchup.
Well, according to one person who just texted, it says on the back of a ketchup bottle that once you open the ketchup, you should keep it
refrigerated.
Yeah. Anyway, Anne, what's your first world problem?
I am a slate missing. I have a leak in the roof.
Right.
And it's coming right through down into the bathroom. Yeah. No, it is. I'm really, really worked up about it.
And one of the slates has just disappeared from the wind or whatever?
Yeah, I have a corner house, and obviously with the storms, the last few storms we had, I remember wear and tear, and I noticed in the last couple of weeks a drip coming down in the bathroom, and the electrician had an electrician out, and he said it was condensation. And then it wasn't, so the water light was disconnected. Then I had a plumber there last week. I thought it might have been the boiler or the tank in the attic.
Yeah.
He said no. So I'm going to find out eventually what it is. It's a couple of slates are missing, so I'm officially a slate missing. I can officially say I'm a slate missing.
I'm going to give you this, and that's more than a first world problem when you discover that there's a slate missing. Hope you get it fixed soon. Thanks very much indeed, Anne. Now somebody's sending photographs in. This is the back of a Heinz tomato ketchup bottle, and it says, storage. After opening, refrigerate and eat within 8 weeks. Who eats within 8 weeks? You must go through a lot of ketchup, because that's a big ketchup bottle. Anyway, so apparently the ketchup is to go into the fridge, but no eggs in the fridge. Absolutely not, says this message. And in fact, most people saying no to eggs in the fridge, but ketchup in the fridge. Okay, thank you very much indeed. They are all your first world problems. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks. I'm Adrian Kennedy. On the way after the break, I have an interesting relationship dilemma for you.
The sound of the city from Clondalkin to Clontarf. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
And this is Adrian Kennedy with you until midday today. Now, this is a dilemma that an awful lot of people, you eventually have to deal with this situation. It happens to us all. Moving in together, does it make a relationship better or worse? Oh, the age-old question. After how long into a relationship should a couple decide to move in? What's the ideal time frame for taking that relationship to the next level? Well, in a moment, we'll be hearing from a listener called Becca, who contacted us on Facebook last night with a very interesting topic for discussion. She's with her boyfriend 18 months. He wants them to move in together, but she said no. She believes that it's way too soon and that moving in as a couple can actually damage a relationship. You know the expression, if you want to know me, come live with me. Well, have a listen to this. I think this could make a great discussion on your show. Here's my story. I'm with my boyfriend for 18 months, give or take. Last weekend, he asked me to move in with him. He has his own place, which is cool, but I said no. I'm happy to still live at home, and I genuinely think that moving in together can ruin a relationship, especially that soon. We've a great relationship with date nights and everything else. I stay over in his maybe 2 nights a week. Why ruin it? What do you guys think? And that is from a lady called Becca. And we want to know what you think. Like I said, the well-worn expression, if you want to know me, come live with me, basically implies that all the fun goes because you suddenly realise what the person is actually like when you move in together. And she's saying after 18 months, even though he's got his own place, he is asking her to move in, and she has said no. Now, my initial reaction to that when I saw it was, oh, she's just tight. She's probably living at home with Mammy and Daddy, and that's free. And if she moves in with a boyfriend, she'll have to give him a few bob. Maybe it's a bit of that. But, no, her argument is that moving in together so soon, and by the way, they're together 18 months, can ruin a relationship. She said, there is something to be said about, the excitement of, he's going to be collecting me in a half an hour and being picked up from your house and heading off out on your night out and all of that. That's all part of the early stages of a relationship. But does it ruin the relationship? Call me right now on 6797 981. Text, WhatsApp, or send a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. Now, I moved in with my partner, says this WhatsApp. Met him in March and moved in July. Now, 7 years later, we bought our own house last year. Hang on there for 1 second. I moved in with my partner. I met him in March. And we moved in together in July. March, April, May, June, July. 4 months? Good God. Now, 7 years later, we bought our own house, and that's where we live. Now, Tara, your point on this is that living together definitely changes a relationship, but you feel in a good way.
Yeah.
How in a good way?
Like, it's hard to explain. It's not the same as like when someone's coming in every day after work, and it deepens everything. Like if it's a serious relationship and you think that down the line you might actually make a go at things, I would say definitely. Like there's going to be the odd teething problem, so definitely I would say move in somewhere together and rent together rather than just two people saving a home to buy a deposit and then move in. They'd probably be killing each other.
So, okay, before you ever buy a place, you should live together.
Try it out 100%, because being on holiday with somebody, staying the weekend is absolutely not the same.
Okay, so you know somebody who says, "Oh, well, we've been on like a load of holidays for 2 weeks together, and everything's good." It's not the same as actually moving in together.
But sure, of course, being on holiday, like you're going out to restaurants, you're partying, lying on the beach, like that's not real life.
No.
That's not paying the ESB bill when it comes in, splitting it in half.
Oh, yeah, it's not. Sure, it's not.
No.
Okay, so you believe that living together actually improved the relationship?
Oh, definitely. It's so nice. It's like, I mean, if that's where you want to go in life, if that's what if you want it to be, you don't want two separate lives, you want to make one life, the two of you together. You know, I can understand with older people maybe where they get into a relationship very late in life and it's a second marriage or whatever, and they want to kind of have that distance, like, you know, they don't want to get married again, say, and they want to each have their own house. That's fine. But like, she's only young and she wants to try and make a life with him. So I say, give it a try. Like, you know, he has the house there, so it's not as if they're mortgaging something and it might not work out. Definitely try it out.
But she's saying we've a great relationship. I stay in his place maybe 2 nights a week. Why ruin it? She thinks that it's going to be ruined.
They'll still have a great relationship. It's brilliant. I remember when I first moved in, like with my husband years and years ago, like it was brilliant going out and getting stuff, and then like the first Christmas and you do put the tree up together and everything. Like it's special. Like.
Okay, all right, stay there for a second. Neve, you're on 98FM. How are you, Neve?
How are you?
Okay, you've heard the message that she's with him 18 months. Last weekend, he asked me to move in with him. Now, for a lot of people, that'd be like, woohoo, this is a really good, solid relationship. But she's actually said no. She says, I'm happy to still live at home, and I genuinely think the moving in together will ruin the relationship, especially that soon. What do you think?
I don't think it's that soon. I mean, it's 18 months. It's nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's a real sign of his commitment that he's asked for it, which is really nice. Most people will be delighted with that. The sign that he wants to take it to the next level. I think she's scared, to be honest. I mean, this perhaps could be her first big relationship.
Yeah.
And I think perhaps it's freaking her out a little bit that, you know, what if? But I agree with the first caller. It does make it better. It's lovely. I mean, there is nothing nicer than, you know,
seeing his jocks on the floor at the end of the bed. Nothing nicer.
Look at you. That's a bit of training. That's okay. That's fine. But you know, having him, you know, when he comes in, or you know, when the two of you come home from work, and you're just, you know, you don't have to leave, and waking up with the person you love every day. There is a really nice side to it. And as the other caller said, you know, the first Christmas, she's gonna have so many firsts. And it can make it stronger. You just need to sit down and talk about it. And she needs to talk to him about if she's worried about it. Talk to him about it. I'm a bit worried that this will happen and that will happen. I'm sure he's thinking the same thing. Maybe he's never lived with somebody before either.
No,
So
but he is taking that first step. He is saying, let's move in together. But she is saying, no, don't want that.
I think to be honest, it comes across that she's a little, that he's freaked her out slightly.
Yeah.
You know, she's sort of thinking, oh God, this could all go terribly wrong. It just kind of makes you think that she's never lived with somebody before like this. It's all a whole load of firsts for her. Sit down and talk to him, and just instead of saying a straight out no, which sounds like rejection to him. So instead of rejecting him straight out, because he may never ask again.
May not, indeed. All right, stay there for 1 second, Niamh. Let's hear how men feel about this. 6797 981 is our phone number. Text, WhatsApp, or a WhatsApp voice note to 0877 98 98 98. Here's what, what's her name? Becca wrote to us. Here's my story. I'm with my boyfriend for 18 months, give or take. Last weekend, he asked me to move in with him. He has his own place, which is cool, but I said no. I'm happy still being at home, and I genuinely think that moving in together can ruin a relationship, especially that soon. We've a great relationship with date nights and so on. I stay over in his maybe 2 nights a week. Why ruin it? What do you guys think? The only thing actually that Becca doesn't say in her email or in her message to us is how old she is. I mean, if she's in her early 20s, then yeah, I can understand how she doesn't want to move. But if she was in her late 20s or early 30s, then maybe, I don't know. Anyway, call me right now on 6797 981.
The sound of the city, from Saggart to Sutton. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
Does moving in together enhance a relationship or put a bit of a dampener on it? That's really what we're talking about, because Becca got in contact with us and she's asking that question. Well, basically, her boyfriend, who has his own gaff, last weekend asked her to move in. They're together 18 months and she said no. Because she thinks it's too soon. They're together a year and a half. It's too soon. And she thinks it'll actually ruin the relationship. Is that ridiculous? Or maybe it happened to you that you moved in with somebody and it was never the same after that. Bill thinks there's a bit more to this than meets the eye.
Doesn't love him enough. After 18 months, and she's not living with him yet, doesn't love him enough. Honest to God. If she loved him and she wanted to spend the rest of her life for him, which she doesn't mention engagement or future plans or anything like that, personal opinion, doesn't love him enough. If I was him, run.
Oh. Well, then answer this question. I want you to text or WhatsApp the answer to this question. If you live with your partner, how long were you together before you moved in together, if you know what I mean? Just text or WhatsApp the answer to that question to 0877 98 98 98, because Bill is saying there that if after 18 months, a year and a half, she's not prepared to make that commitment, then he should run. So, if you live with your partner, how long were you in the relationship before you moved in together? Just text or WhatsApp me the answer to that to 0877 98 98 98. Now, Adrian, you're on 98FM. Hi, Adrian.
Good morning, how are you?
Now, moving in together, was it... well, firstly, how long were you together before you moved in together?
Yeah, about 18 months.
Oh, about 18 months. All right, because I'm getting some messages here, like one message there a second ago said 6 years. They were together 6 years.
Stop.
So you think, okay, when you hear of a lady saying no after 18 months together, what does that say to you?
That she doesn't really want it to go any further. That's what it says to me, because I think you should definitely live with someone before you move further in your relationship, like to buy a house or anything like that, because like I said in my text, you wouldn't buy a car without test driving it, so you have to live with somebody before anything else. Yeah,
so if she's thinking that there's any future in this relationship, if she's thinking long term with this relationship, then she has to bite that bullet.
Yeah, and she said, you were saying that she said she's living at home, she's happy living at home.
Yeah.
Sounds like she doesn't really want to move out and do her own thing. Like, pay her own rent, make her own dinners and all, but you have to do that. You can't live at home for the rest of your life. Come on now.
Yeah, you have to grow up eventually.
Yeah, plus it's nice to have your own house and live with your other half and do your own thing and get to know them. Then you know whether you want to stay with them the rest of your life. Like, if they're leaving, they're washing around or they're doing something that annoys you, you're not going to learn that by going on holidays or weekends away with somebody.
No, of course not, no.
Like, you have to live with somebody. Like they say, if you want to know me, come and live with me.
So, if after 18 months, you heard that message I played a second ago, who's basically saying, after 18 months and she's saying, no, if I were him, I'd run for the hills, I'd get out of there because...
I'd be very upset if I asked my other half to move in with me. Now, I already own my own house and we live together with kids and all, but if I had asked my other half to move in with me at any time and they said no, I'd be real upset over it.
At any time? What, after a couple of weeks?
Well, not a couple of weeks. I'm sorry. No, okay, not at any time. A couple of weeks is a bit mad. But a couple of months, like, if you know, you know.
Okay, stay there for 1 second if you can, please, Aideen. Let me have a listen to this WhatsApp voice note from Jason.
It's time for her to be a big girl and grow up and move out of man dad's gaff. Sounds like she wants to have a cushy one. She wants to stay in her fella's gaff for like 2 days a week and then bounce on, see you later. I'll catch you next week, yeah? That is not a really good relationship by the sound of it. 2 days a week. But 18 months is not a short period of time either. That's like 2 years nearly. It's like, come on, like.
All right, there you go. Many of you saying 18 months and she's saying no. She really doesn't want that relationship to go anywhere else. She doesn't want to take that relationship to any other level at all. She's happy to just continue to trundle along. And yeah, a lot of people are saying that he needs to... It's the ultimate insult. After 18 months, and it's not like he's suggesting they go and get a mortgage together. He already has his own place. And he is inviting her to come and live with him. Now, obviously, she'd have to pay her way. She'd have to pay rent and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's just... I think she's being a bit of a weasel in this relationship in terms of... Kevin, do you think she's being a bit of a weasel?
I think the general synopsis is, yeah. Look, to be honest... It's a year and a half into a relationship and he's brought it up and she's just coldly said no. She wants her cake and eat it, let's be honest. She wants the park or the nights out, the holidays, and she wants to be able to walk away and do her own thing. I'd say she's keeping her options open. Now, maybe there could be an age gap in this relationship in relation to he has his own place. And it could be, look, I think she's just too used to the nights out, the holidays. She spends a couple of nights out. She gets to do her own thing.
I know, but when you move in together, Kevin, it does change things.
Of course it does. There's a commitment. Maybe it's a commitment thing. Maybe she is like, sorry, all right, hang on, this is real life now. I have to go into real life. I can't just do my own thing when I want it. I'm committed. Maybe it is a commitment thing. Maybe she has her own, maybe her own parents are separated. I don't know. But it must be a commitment thing. Or maybe she's just being selfish. But that's a kick in the teeth to kind of just blatantly turn around and say no. Like after 18 months, a year and a half, you kind of go, well, is this going somewhere? And to be honest, I'd be surprised if that relationship even goes on.
Okay, but a lot of people are texting in to say we're being a little bit harsh on her. Maybe she feels the only reason he's asking her to move in is to help with the bills. This actually happened to a friend of mine.
I'm sure. Look. Right. We don't know, but I would say I doubt it. Right, because she would have known. They would have probably had a conversation about that. He actually just asked, look, would you move in? And she turned around and said no. So she didn't mention anything that he's struggling. So we don't know that. So we can only go on the assumption of that. He asked a very important question, a very serious question, and she bolted. At least he didn't ask her to get married.
No, he didn't ask her to get married. No, he just asked her to move in, and she said no. Me and my fiancé have been living together 5 years, says this message. We met on Facebook. How do you meet on Facebook, can I ask? But anyway, okay, we met on Facebook. I lived in Jersey in the Channel Islands, and she's from Dublin. We spent roughly 7 months commuting and visiting each other before she asked me to move over to Dublin and to move in with her. So that was 5 years ago. That's great. Anthony.
Hi.
Hi, Anthony. Living together 5 years?
Yes.
How long were you together before you moved in together?
Roughly 7 months. 7
months?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fairly prompt, isn't it? What was the biggest change? Because this lady who sent us the message in the first place is saying that she is worried that this will ruin the relationship, essentially.
It doesn't ruin the relationship at all. It makes it much better. We spend a lot of time on FaceTime and Messenger speaking to each other in the evenings before we made the decision to move in together. And like I said, it's the best decision we ever made. We're closer. We get on a lot better than we did before.
And was there any initial teething problems?
Yes, there's been a few. I mean, getting to know the person, like really getting to know the person that you're moving in with is the biggest stepping stone, so to speak. But no, it was the best decision I ever made.
Okay, and it far from ruining your relationship, you're saying it actually enhanced it?
Yeah.
Okay, and then finally, Jen, you're on 98FM. How are you?
A little bit annoyed at the moment, actually.
What are you annoyed about, Jen?
Well, I think people are going a bit too hard on this girl. I mean, we don't know how old she is, like you said.
No, we don't. No, because she never wrote in her email how old she is.
Yeah, but I mean, if she's not ready and she doesn't feel ready, she shouldn't be pushed by people who are calling in to go and do it, or being told she's being like snotty or whatever, you know what I mean, or a spoiled child. I mean, if she doesn't feel like she's ready, she shouldn't. I'm with my partner 14 years, and we don't live together yet because there's circumstances as to why we don't. But we do love each other terribly, like.
So we should back off, but say, for example, if she's 28. Let's just pick that figure out of the air. She's 28, and she's still living at home, and the boyfriend asked her to move in after 18 months. It's a bit of a smack in the face for him after 18 months.
I don't
if she
think
says
so.
no.
I think she should have a talk with him and let him see how she, like, just, you know, bring it across to him how she feels about it. You know, just help him understand why. Maybe just leave it for a while. Maybe, like, stay an extra night a week. You know, it doesn't have to be full-on move in. She could be eased into it if she feels a bit stressed about it. You know what I mean? She doesn't have to move in straight away. I think that's a bit... I think people are being a bit too nasty on her, like, you know.
All right, and finally this message. I'm with my guy over 7 years. We only see each other every second or third weekend. I'll have to read on to see why that is. He's asked me a few times to move in with him, but I said no. He's a farmer, and I live in a council house. And my worry would be, what if anything happened to him after I moved in? It's not my home, so where would I go then? Back to my mum's at 50. Ah, right, so she doesn't want to live with him because she's got a council house and he's a farmer. But the most intriguing part of your email is, what sort of relationship have you got that you only see him every second or third weekend? That's just like friends with benefits. It's not a hardly relationship, is it? All right, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for all of your calls, comments, texts and opinions. This is 98FM's Dublin Talks. Thanks for joining us today. Back again tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Barry Dunn is on the way, and in the next hour he's got some great music lined up like these.
The sound of the city from Perrystown to Portmarnock. Dublin Talks. 98FM's Dublin Talks.
Ben Dunn Gyms, arguably.